What's up guys, and welcome to part 2 of this series. We'll be building the second plane. Now the first one was really fun, but I think we can do better than that, so let's get started. I decided to wire cut all of the different pieces, and this was something I've never done before. But it's actually really simple. You just take an old guitar string, apply about 12 volts to it, and then you can cut through the styrofoam like it was nothing. With this process you can get some really nice wings that are super lightweight and actually quite durable. I also decided to get some hinges from the hardware store, which makes all of the different control surfaces move with a lot less play. I decided to house all of the components inside the plane this time for added protection and to make it look a bit nicer. So I just made a big hole here in the middle to put all of the electronics in. So this is the result after a bit of building, and it actually looks a lot better than the old one. It's really lightweight and the components are a lot better protected. Also, the wing is detachable, so hopefully it will just snap off in a crash. Time for the Maiden Flight. I was too low on the throttle, so it might work. Still seems to nosedive a bit, so yeah, and it broke. So after that first test flight I got loads of tips on the local Facebook group, and a lot of people seem to have suggested that the wing was way too small, which in retrospective it really was. So let's make a new one. So this is the new wing I made. It has a 1 meter wingspan instead of just 60 centimeters, and it actually turned out pretty well. And it also got some dihedral for added stability. Let's try it out. So for this second test I went out to a bigger area where I could actually use the landing gear properly. That way the plane would only take off if it actually could fly. What the f***? Den funkar! Den funkade ju! What the f***? Så himla sjukt! After actually seeing it fly for the first time, I made a second attempt FPV. However, I didn't really realize that the plane would climb so much. I almost flew right into the power lines, but I managed to avoid it in the last second.
Du steg alldeles för bra! Jag kom inte upp i de där! Gör det smooth landning då, eller hur?
A bit more nose weight and maybe it would fly well. After adding some nose weight I decided to do a second attempt. And it actually flew. And not only that, but it actually flew really good. It really did everything I asked it to. The only problem was that the pitch axis was kind of weak, so I should have made the control surface for pitch a lot bigger. Same thing with the rudder. This flight continued for quite a while until I finally landed on the field. But then something happened. The next time I was trying to lift off with the exact same parameters, it would just dive straight to the left. What then followed was a series of tests, but it just kept going to the left, which is really counterintuitive since the fact that the center of mass is way lower than the center of lift should help it self-stabilize. And on top of that I have the dihedral on the wing, which should also help. The plane was definitely well balanced, at least on the roll axis, and the wing looked really straight. As a last attempt I tried screwing in screws on the right wing until it didn't turn to the left anymore. At this point it actually flew, but it was just extremely hard to control. So now in retrospective, let's take a look at some of the things that I could have improved with the design of this airplane. One of the major flaws about this plane was definitely the internal structure. If you're gonna make a plane like this, definitely put something like a carbon fiber rod through the whole construction, and specifically make sure to mount the motor on that rod. Without it, the whole frame just snapped in half every freaking crash. It was just a huge hassle going back home to fix it every time you had tried to fly it. You should also have the wing mounted quite far back, so that the weight of the battery would counterbalance the back of the plane easier. One of the really great things about this design though was definitely the wing. The wing was really sturdy, super lightweight, and it actually never broke. Even though it can flex a bit, it can't twist very easily, so that was a huge success. So stay tuned for part 3, where I'll be taking everything I learned with this plane, making an even better design. I'll also be experimenting with flight controllers and having stabilized flight. So if you like this video, please look at some of the other videos. In the meantime, I'll see you in the next one.